بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين
اللهم صل على محمد
والرحمة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين. The fiqhi rulings about related to the name of Allah. Related to the name Allah. There are several rulings in our fiqh which apply about the name of Allah. And first rule about the name of Allah is Tanjis, haram to make it najis. It's haram to make the name Allah written anywhere. It's haram to make it najis. If it's written on newspaper, you have to protect it. In paper, anywhere. I saw some people have tattoos, Ali, tattoo on the neck or on the hand, Ya Ali. It's haram. You cannot maintain wudu 24/7. We have to go to washroom, right? We have to sleep. Wudu will become batil. Obviously, your skin is touching the name of Ali or any of the Ma'sumin salam have the same rule that you cannot touch it without wudu. I'm coming to that. So, making it najis, the first thing is about making it najis is haram. It's not makruh, it's haram. The second rule is wujub at-tathhir. Wujub at-tathhir means it's wajib to make it tahir. Becomes najis, somehow it's wajib for you, it falls in the toilet. For example, newspaper, piece of paper had name of Allah, fell in the toilet. You have to take it out, it's najis. The water in the WC is obviously najis. There's so much najasat on the sidelines. That's why they sell all those cleaning chemicals, because there are najasat particles on the sideline, even if the new water comes out, but there is najasat particles, and this water comes in contact with all those najis particles which are already on the sidelines of the WC. So the water inside that, even though it came out recently, is najis, right? So if it falls down, everything that falls down will be najis. So it's wajib for us to make it tahir. Tathhir means making it tahir. Tahir means Islamically clean, according to the Islamic process of cleaning the things. Not just you can put under, water randomly. There's Islamic process of cleaning that we learned in the classes already. Number 3. Means it's haram to disrespect. If anyone disrespects the name of Allah, that's haram. Disrespecting the name of Allah is also a haram. It's not makruh, it's haram. In any form of disrespect, any way you imagine in any way, it's haram. There is no license and no room for anyone to disrespect the name of Allah. Number 4. Hurmatul mas, haram to touch the name of Allah without taharat, without tahara, without the proper Islamic cleanliness. Whether you have ghusl al-janabat suffices for wudu, that's a way of Islamic cleanliness, or wudu itself. So proper Islamic cleanliness that suffices from wudu, that kind of taharat we are talking about. It's haram to touch the name without the taharat. So you cannot put the tattoo of Allah, likewise any of the names of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt on your skin, because your skin will be touching it and you cannot maintain wudu 24/7. So, okay, number 5. Haram, it's mamnu and forbidden. Mamnu means forbidden. It's forbidden to do jidal. Jidal means argument while you are in the state of niyat, in the state of ihram for the Hajj or Umrah. If you are have the niyat niyat of ihram, niyat of doing ihram for the sake of Hajj, or niyat of doing ihram for the sake of performing an Umrah at Holy Makkah. So you are in that state of ihram, because you made the niyat of ihram, right? Ihram is the niyat. Ihram is not the dress. The dress is called libas al-ihram. Ihram is actually the niyat. So if you are in the state of ihram means when you made the niyat. When you make the niyat for ihram of Hajj or ihram of Umrah, now you are classified as a muhrim person, someone who is in the state of ihram. Niyat of ihram is called muhrim. So now you are a muhrim person. You did the niyat for Hajj, a niyat of ihram for doing Hajj, a niyat of ihram for doing the Umrah. Now you are a muhrim. When you are a muhrim person for Hajj or Umrah, it's forbidden to do jidal with the name of Allah. So saying La Wallahi or Bala Wallahi is not allowed. This is called jidal with the name of Allah. You are arguing with people and you are having the niyat of ihram for doing the Hajj or doing a Umrah, and you are sitting around with people or on the street or buying apples, buying something in the shop, and you end up doing argument with the shopkeeper and you start using the name of Allah inside your argument while you are in the niyat and state of ihram for doing a Hajj or an Umrah. That's forbidden. You cannot do that. So this is wrong. So the next thing, number 6. لزوم الذكر والتسبيح به. That means it's compulsory to mention Allah and do His tasbih. In the ruku. In ruku. It's compulsory that we mention the name of Allah and do His tasbih in the ruku. So whether we say Subhanallah, 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 this statement 3 times, or Subhana Rabbil Azim wa bihamdih once, or any other dhikr of Allah in the same miqdar and magnitude of the length of Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So you can say La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. It's actually longer, not exactly the same miqdar, it's actually longer. So any dhikr of Allah is okay to be said. But bottom line, you must remember to say the dhikr means mentioning the name of Allah and the tasbih through that in the ruku, one way or the other, but it has to be done. The dhikr and tasbih is there, should be there in the ruku and likewise in sajda. The sujood. That's number 6. So let's go to number 7. Ishtirak al-tadhkiyah. Number 6. Now let's go to number 7. Tazkiyah means making an animal halal. The process of making an animal zaki and halal. This is with the za, zal, not the za. Tazkiyah, when we say tazkiyatul nafs, purification of the soul, this is with the za. It means we are using the word zal, not the za. This is different. Tazkiyah means process of making an animal halal to eat. So when you are, in other words, you are slaughtering an animal according to the 5 Islamic conditions. One of the conditions of that is ishtirat al-tazkiyah bihi, means with the name of Allah. So it's conditional that slaughtering an animal is conditional that you mention with the name of Allah. That's the shart. If you don't mention the name of Allah before slaughtering the animal with the niyat of slaughtering that specific animal, you did not mention the name of Allah with the niyat of slaughtering that specific animal, the animal will be najis, is classified as maita. If you did not mention the name of Allah, the animal will be classified as al-maita, means murdar, a dead animal. Just like a goat dies natural death. Is it halal to eat that goat? It's a halal meat animal, yes. But it's haram to eat it because it died a natural death. You did not slaughter it according to the conditions of tazkiyah, conditions of slaughtering the animal. So if you did not mention the name of Allah with the niyat of slaughtering that specific animal, you did not fulfill the condition of tazkiyah, and thus the animal will be in the category of al-maita, means dead animal, murdar, and eating any dead animal is haram, because maita and dead animal is najis. So it's a shart and condition for the tazkiyah of the haywan, of the animal. And 8, scholars mention it, some scholars mention it separately, so I am also going to mention it separately, although I already mentioned it in my conversation, but let me mention it separately because some scholars did that. So Hiliyah means, Hiliyat means the state of being halal. an animal being categorized to be halal is mashroot and conditional that the name of Allah being mentioned. If the name of Allah is not mentioned, that animal, the meat of that animal will not be classified as halal. So halal, becoming halal of an animal is conditional upon mentioning the name of Allah. Number 9.
What's the
Huh?
number 8? How is that? That's the ruling for tafkir, right?
Yeah. That means when you are slaughtering an animal to make it halal, haliyat of an animal, when you hear what we are trying to say above in number 7, if you did not mention the name of Allah, the process of making halal is called tazkiyah. That process is not fulfilled because you did not meet the condition. Condition was mentioning the name of Allah for the sake of slaughtering that specific animal, which you did. If you did not mention, then you did not fulfill the conditions for making it halal. When you did not fulfill the condition, the slaughtering process was incomplete. When slaughtering process is incomplete, the meat is classified to be najis. So,
Right.
and it's now following the category of al-maita.
No, I mean,
Here,
yeah.
what we are saying is very close, but a little difference is that when we are saying ishtirat al-haliyya means becoming halal is conditional on saying the name of Allah. Making an animal, slaughtering the animal according to the process of making halal, if that condition is not followed, the animal is classified to be najis. If you fulfill the condition at this time of slaughtering, the animal will be classified to be halal. So najis and tahir is one aspect, halal and haram is a different aspect.
Can you violate 7 without violating 8, or violate 8 without violating 7?
No, they are intertwined, but the thing to note is that halal and haram is different than najis and tahir.
Okay. So it's not talking about other animals that are not halal to eat, it's just talking about the same animals.
Exactly. No, other animals are not halal to eat. They are haram meat animals will remain haram meat. Even if you mention the name of Allah, the meat will never become halal to eat.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no condition about mentioning the name of Allah in those animals.
Well, we don't slaughter the non-halal animals because even if we slaughter the non-halal animals, their meat is not going to be halal anyways. For example, if somebody slaughters a lion, it's a non-halal meat animal. Its meat is not halal. So even if somebody slaughters it according to all the conditions, the meat will continue to be haram, even if the name of Allah is mentioned. Okay. Now the 9th thing is al-yameen al-qasam. Same thing. So yameen also means qasam. So rulings of the qasam apply on the name of Allah. Qasam in Islam is done on the name of Allah. If you want to do the Islamic process of swearing, it has to be in the name of Allah, or one of those specific attributes which are specific to Allah only. For example, Fusto wa Rabbil Kaaba. Wa Rabbil Kaaba, Lord of Kaaba is only Allah, no one else. So that's any specific attribute of Allah is okay, but in the Islamic court of law, you have to, when required and asked by the Islamic judge, you have to swear in the name of Allah. So you have to say either Wallahi or Billahi or Allahi. These are the only 3 ways how we swear in the presence of the judge. So there are so many rules that apply for that, about swearing. There are a lot of rules that apply, but I'm just telling you a general thing right now, without mentioning the details.
mentioning Allah's name on the animal, does it have to be Allah or could it be any of Allah's names?
Yeah, it has to be. Uh, it has to be in the name of Allah, as it is said in the fatwa. Not necessarily Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You can also say Allahu Akbar. You can say MashaAllah. You can say Subhanallah. You can even say Alhamdulillah. But the name of Allah should be mentioned according to the fatwa.
Can you say Razak or no?
Huh?
Can you say Razak or no? It has to be Allah.
That's not in the fatwa of Maraji. It's they mention the name of Allah only. So we stick to the name of Allah only, unless if there's some mujtahid saying that he allows it. I mean, that's his personal fatwa if someone says it. But the mainstream opinion between the Maraji is that the name of Allah has to be mentioned. Not necessarily Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but the name of Allah. Quran has said, فَاذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهَا. Mention name of Allah upon that. And also Quran has said, لا تأكلوا مما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه. Do not eat what name of Allah has not mentioned upon that. So anything upon which the name of Allah is not mentioned, don't eat from which the name of Allah is not mentioned upon it. So anything upon which the name of Allah was not mentioned, we don't eat from that. So the name of Allah has to be mentioned. And tenth, the last thing, is about istihbab. It's mustahab to start all the affairs of our life, all the actions that we do in our life. But means initiating and starting. So all the actions that we start and do in our life, it's mustahab to start it with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this is mustahab. Everything that we do, we should start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله. I think the next thing is